Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. A new edition of Africa Today. We started from Cairo, as Cairo have hosted on Saturday the second ministerial conference of Russia-Africa Partnership Forum with broad participation from more than 50 African countries and senior representatives from regional continental organizations.
Cairo outlined its comprehensive vision for development, security and regional cooperation in Africa during the second ministerial conference of the Russia-African Partnership Forum held on Saturday. A speech delivered on Sisi's behalf by Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati said that Egypt's approach is aligned with the African Union's Agenda 2063 and reflects the importance of Africa's strategic partnerships with major international powers. Abdelati said the meeting embodies the importance of strengthening cooperation to achieve peace, security and development in line with Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. Sisi acknowledged that despite efforts by African states, the continent continues to face significant development challenges, including weak infrastructure, limited financing and high risks. He said development in Africa still faces several challenges, including weak infrastructure, insufficient funding and high risks. According to the address, Egypt's development vision for Africa resets on 5 pillars: supporting strategic transport corridors and logistics zones, strengthening energy cooperation and electricity interconnection, promoting agricultural development and food security, boosting intra-African trade, and enhancing cooperation in communications, information technology, and artificial intelligence. Outlining Egypt's economic engagement, Sisi said Cairo is committed to utilizing all available cooperation tools to support African development, including encouraging Egyptian companies to expand investments and partnerships across the continent. He said the total Egyptian investments in Africa have exceeded $12 billion, while trade volumes have surpassed $10 billion. Addressing shared water resources, he stressed that there is no room for any unilateral actions that would harm the rights of riparian states in transboundary rivers or undermine opportunities for cooperation and achieving common benefit.
Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Her Excellency Ambassador Soa'd Shalaby, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good afternoon, Your Excellency.
Good afternoon.
Well, Your Excellency, during the Russian-African conference, Cairo have acknowledged during the conference that despite the efforts by the African states, the continent continues to face significant development challenges, including a very weak infrastructure, limited financing and high risks. What are the steps needed to be taken to overcome the obstacles in these domains?
Well, these obstacles are already there, and they have been there has been a lot of challenges for the African continent. That is why reaching out for Russia, for China, for the EU, for the Western countries in order to help in facing these challenges. So the meeting that took place, the ministerial meeting that took place 2 days ago and is still going on between Foreign Minister of Russia and the Foreign Minister, presided by Foreign Minister of Egypt and Foreign Minister of Russia, and including 50 ministers of foreign ministers from African countries. It is mainly to solve these problems, because Russia-Africa Partnership Forum is convening to solve the problems of African continent, which you have rightly mentioned.
Yes. How would you list the reasons for the weak intra-African trade compared with the intra-trade in other continents?
Well, you know that Egypt is member of the African free trade area, and this is of course helping Egypt to trade more with African countries. And of course the volume of trade is not as expected. But hopefully after these partnership with Russia, partnership with other African countries, and also building the infrastructure that will help reach the Agenda 2063 of the African Union, because this is the vital mechanism that will help the full activation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which will boost the trade between different, and also will succeed in having the regional integration and the inclusive growth between the countries, African countries, together with Egypt.
Yes. Your Excellency, Ambassador Soa'd Shalaby, how do you weigh the ties and the importance of Russian-African ties for both sides?
Well, this is the second ministerial conference. The first one took place in Sochi. That means that there was a strategic plan, and this meeting is going to follow up with all the African countries who have been gathered, and this meeting will be a gathering practical step in order to reach to the strategic partnership which will take place between 2026 and 2029. So this meeting will review the plan that took place between 2023 and 2026, and will initiate a constructive dialogue to the new period which will take place next year, starting in Addis Ababa, and it will continue until 2029. So the relations between Russia and the African countries is increasing because it is on equal footage. That means that they are partners, and they are helping in to face the global challenges that are meeting, whether it is in trade, whether it is in investment, or in multilateral diplomacy, in infrastructure. That is the main idea of this gathering.
Yes, Your Excellency, supporting the strategic transport corridors and also logistics zones was listed atop the pillars of Egypt's development vision. How can this be implemented?
Yes, of course, the infrastructure of roads and bridges and linking the airports and also the seaports is very important, because as also the President Sisi mentioned yesterday in his speech, he mentioned that going from Egypt to Sudan, if we have a road, it will be very easy for trade, it will be very easy for services, for the exchange, for the traveling of people. And we have rich human resources. So if there is a road between Cairo and Cape, for instance, Cairo, Sudan, Cairo, Ethiopia, and Chad, it will be easy for people, Africans, to move from one country to another, and also for trade and for investments. So investing in the roads and in the means of transportation is a very important boost for trade.
Yes. Also, how would you elaborate on the importance of strengthening the energy cooperation and also electricity interconnection to boost the development in Africa?
Yes, Egypt is extending its cooperation to all the African countries who are nearby and who can use the extension of course, the energy sector. It is important for Egypt to have links with the neighboring countries in order to be able to extend the energy between them, and also to mobilize funding for projects like climate resilience, and also also during the African Space Agency, and also the transport of oil and gas.
Yes.
So this is these main concerns for all Africans in order to have to reach the industrialization that every country is looking up to in order to be able to manufacture the goods and use the raw materials that they are rich in Africa in order to use them for and manufacture them into goods that could be transported.
Yes. Also, Your Excellency, how important is it for Africa to promote the agricultural development and also the food security?
Of course, the management of the Nile water and using the water in a concerned and there has to be cooperation between the Nile basin countries in order to increase the agricultural production of the Nile basin countries. Other countries also do not have a problem of water. They could also be producing agricultural goods and trading them with other countries who are in need, who suffer because of climate and because of desertification. So it is important for those countries who produce agricultural goods and who do not have problems in water to extend their agricultural goods and to increase them in order to have to trade with neighboring countries.
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Your Excellency, Ambassador Soa'd Shalaby, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Well, Morocco carry a huge weight of expectation into their opening game of the Africa Cup of Nations on Sunday as the hosts against the Comoros Islands.
Morocco captain Achraf Hakimi has recovered from an ankle injury in time for the African Cup of Nations. The news was reported by both the player and coach Walid Regragui before the team's opening game. The current African Footballer of the Year is unlikely to start Sunday's tournament opener against Comoros, but Regragui said Hakimi could play if needed. Hakimi was injured in a reckless tackle from Bayern Munich forward Luis Diaz while he was playing for Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League in November. Diaz, who was sent off for the challenge, later wished Hakimi a quick return. For Morocco, this tournament is about also showcasing some world-class stadiums as it hosts a first AFCON since 1988. North African teams have won 4 of the last 5 editions held in the region, including Algeria's triumph in Egypt in 2010. North African teams have won 4 of the last 5 editions held in the region, including Algeria's triumph in Egypt in 2019. Runners-up last year, Nigeria will hope to make amends there for missing out on World Cup qualifications. After Sunday's opening game, there will be 3 matches on Monday, including South Africa against Angola and Egypt versus Zimbabwe in Group B.
Welcome back. Well, Gambia is a small West African country bounded by Senegal with a narrow Atlantic coastline. It is known for its diverse ecosystems around the center of the country. I leave you now with a report on Gambia, and thank you very much for joining us in Africa Today.
The Gambia, officially the Republic of the Gambia, is a country in West Africa. Geographically, the Gambia is the smallest country in continental Africa. It is surrounded by Senegal on all sides, except for the western part, which is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean. Its territory is on both sides of the lower reaches of the Gambia River, which flows through the center of the country and empties into the Atlantic. The national namesake river demarcates the elongated shape of the country, which has an area of 11,300 square kilometers and a population of 2,422,712 people at the 1st of May 2024 census, which is a 30.45% population increase from 2013. The capital city is the island Banjul, formerly called Bathurst during the colonial era, which is the most extensive metropolitan area in the country. The second and third largest cities are Serekunda and Barikama. Other significant cities are Kanifing and Farafeni in the North Bank, Base in Upper River Region, and Soma in Lower River Region. The Gambia's economy is dominated by farming, fishing, and especially tourism.